The work will carry on.
Yeah.
And I do have to meet the Indians.
You do have to meet the Indians, but can we talk to you again on Saturday or Friday after the deal's done?
Definitely, definitely. Thank you very much. That was round 7 or round 8.
It was. I'm not sure who won.
Cheers. Bye.
Good luck with the Indians.
Thanks.
So I'm sorry that this is going a little bit over length, but you know, it's more value for your money and it's free. Couldn't be better. So as Ed said there in that interview, the public does have a very important role to play in basically moving the politicians as far along as possible. And so our friend Dan Vokins has been out and about today making a little video about all the different actions that are going on here. And Dan is somebody who came to volunteer at our office, and now, that was only a year ago, and now he's the campaign manager of 1010, which is the fastest growing climate campaign anywhere in the world, which we're going to be ranting on about at great length every day, basically. And you're going to hear all about it, and that's the intro to Dan, so you can now go to the clip. Go.
About a year ago, I started volunteering with Franny to make eco-films in the Age of Stupid office. Wanted to be a documentary maker, and she roped me in pretty quickly and started putting up shelves actually in the office. And now here I am as campaign manager for a new campaign that you'll be hearing loads and loads about over the next week called 1010. Every day I'm going to be covering a different action from live within the Bella Centre and also outside. We've ruined their photo. The thing you've got to remember about these negotiations is that the UN controls every single action that can take place here, which is why this week's events have actually been really quite significant. For the first time, you've seen a set of actions taking place within here that haven't been sanctioned by the UN. There was a really big one yesterday in support of Tuvalu, who walked out of the negotiations because they wanted a legal treaty.
Ambitious legal treaty now! Ambitious legal treaty now!
But really, it's not until next week that things really start to kick off, when the tens of thousands of activists arrive from all over the world. There are about 5 buses coming over from the UK, for example, alone. So we've got, for example, a rally from the centre of Copenhagen out to the negotiating centre here. And we've also got a group called Never Trust a Cop, get it, who will be trying to flood in here, take over the conference during the high-level segment with all of the world leaders and run their own agenda.
Any of you can find somebody from the Swedish, Finnish, or Austrian delegation. We need to have some words with them.
I haven't seen them.
You haven't seen them?
Where are they?
Maybe they're hiding. We're on to their double accounting. The trees are angry.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will make the emissions disappear using only the magical scarf of offsetting.
But we want you to do more than just watch along every day. We actually want you to take action so that we can affect the outcome of this COP15, which is why each day we will design a specific action that you can take back home to influence these negotiations yourself. The first one is brought to you today by the same people that organised the Global Wake Up Call last month. Absolutely incredible, one of the biggest global actions ever. On this Saturday, 12th of December, we're asking you to light a candle as part of 12,000 or more vigils around the world on every single continent. To do that, just log on to www.stupidshow.tv. All the information's on there. Put your postcode in and then send us your photos and we'll feature the best ones after the vigil itself on the Saturday. A couple of miles down the road, there's actually been a climate change deniers conference with a full 75 delegates. Not quite as big as here, it must be said. One of the best actions so far, actually, has been when the youth stormed a lecture by Lord Monckton, who's one of the chief climate skeptics.
Excuse me, across the country, really?
We're sorry, we've been announced it.
And I'll tell you this, it's interesting to hear this.
You are listening now to the shouts in the background of the Hitler Youth. Seeing here is a rather childish demonstration by people who do not believe in free speech.
Just
They
want
are
to save a
indeed
secure
the
future
crazed
for children.
Hitler youth. They know no climate science. They know nothing.
Sorry if your computer crashed there. It was your fault, it wasn't us. Ours is working absolutely perfectly here. And my next guest is Jane Davidson. Hello, Jane. How you doing?
Hi, Franny.
Don't speak yet because I'm holding the microphone, but first I've got to hold this. That's your sign. Because you are the Environment Minister for Wales. For any ignoramuses amongst you who didn't go to geography, Wales is a small country which is part of the UK. Jane, you did something very exciting, didn't you? Hang on, sorry. So, Jane, what do you think about people power? Can it change the world?
Oh, I think it can. I mean, actually, I always want to be related to Emily Davidson, who was a key suffragette. And, of course, we women got the vote out of that. So people power can change the world.
Apartheid, civil rights movement.
Absolutely, absolutely. My politics started with apartheid. And I think it's absolutely critical that people really, really get behind this. Real people power to tell the leaders across the world that they need to change.
And of course, in 1010, there is a bit of in the UK, there is a bit of a people power movement going on, which is 1010, which is the campaign that was launched on the back of the film. And the aim is to cut 10% of emissions next year, i.e. in 2010. So we ask individuals, schools, businesses, everybody to commit to cut their emissions 10%, which is the kind of cuts we need to get to climate safety. And it went really well, went like a rocket. And you and I actually met in July, didn't we? Because we launched the campaign in September. Yeah. We met in July, but you didn't join up. You didn't sign up in September, but you did do something very exciting last week. What was that?
Yeah, well, okay, Franny, we gave in to your pressure. We joined 1010 in December.
When you say we, but when you say we, who's we?
It is a big we.
It's not you and your family.
No. Well, I wanted to do that at any rate because I think it is important that individuals do it. But we, the Welsh Assembly government, first government to sign up to 1010. But I have to say, it took us 6 months because it's very easy. And then in Copenhagen, we'll hear a lot about targets, and people might well commit to targets without having a plan to achieve it. What we did in Wales was say, OK, if we're going to be part of 1010, we actually have to have a plan to achieve it. So we're looking at all sorts of things all the way through from business travel to the way we deal with paper, with water, with energy in all our buildings and with waste. And we will actually monitor everything we do because I don't want to be one of those ones.
Do you feel a stupid show coming back at you?
I feel that I know that if we haven't done it, you'll be coming back to us and asking why not. But I mean, we've made a big commitment here because we've actually reduced our emissions by 4% this year. And we need all of us to be able. The Welsh government has reduced its emissions by 4% this year across all our government buildings because we're actually very strong environmental performers. But we need to do a lot more, and I think we need to demonstrate as a small industrial nation. We were one of the main polluters. We are probably offered more emissions per head of population than any other country in the world.
Is that really true?
Back in 200 years ago.
It's the Welsh to blame.
Beginning of the Industrial Revolution.
Right,
But no, I think we've got a debt to pay, and we're going to pay that debt, and our government is absolutely committed in terms of doing that.
Brilliant. So in the longer term, once you cut 10% next year, then what for all of Wales? Talking us on this scale.
Well, I was watching Ma, and I hope that you know, what you can put on top of the of this United Kingdom head is actually a Welsh flag. You can put a Scottish flag, and hopefully in future you can put a Northern